Warriors. Aside for a couple of instances. And even though when Draymond did what he did, they skipped, the Warriors suspended him for a game. They suspended Draymond. I think for a game, might have been more. But I know they at least suspended him for a game.
They did.
That showed that they took the issue serious, and then basically they sided with KD. For me, and the Bleacher Report reported, Skip, that an issue that Kevin Durant had is that he felt he was always playing second fiddle to one Steph Curry. Now, you remember a month ago, maybe 6 weeks ago, Skip, I said the very same thing. He got on social media and said that was an ignorant statement.
He did.
And lo and behold, Kevin Durant went to Golden State hoping that by winning a championship, Skip, it will fulfill and quench all of his thirst. And from a basketball perspective, it did that. But there's a human side of this. Kevin Durant never got the appreciation that he thought he would get. He saw what happened when LeBron went to Miami. He's the best player. That was universally regarded. Once he won those titles, there was no question. He was the best player. KD wins Finals MVP, and they still say LeBron is a better player than Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant wins his second Finals MVP, and there's still questions. What Kevin Durant did not understand is that he could not get the appreciation that he deserved because he didn't originate from Golden State. Even through LeBron won 2 MVPs regular season, 2 final MVPs. The Miami Heat was Dwayne Wade's team. Miami is Wade County. Kevin Durant didn't understand that. He couldn't understand that. I'm better than he is. Everybody knows it. Klay Thompson comes out and says he's the best player in the league. He's the best player on our team. That wasn't good enough. It wasn't enough for the players that he wanted the fans to give him the love, the appreciation, the adoration that they bestow upon Steph. But the difference is, Skip, Steph got married in the Bay. Steph raised a family in the Bay. KD, you came in.
He raised a generation of fans.
Yes. So
started from scratch, from the bottom up.
And remember, they saw Steph and Klay and Draymond go through the trials. They weren't always 73 win team. They were not always a 60-plus win team. They saw them miss the playoffs. KD, you weren't there for the lean years. You were there for the good years. Now, it served them both well. Because I don't believe KD would have won a championship in OKC, and I don't believe Golden State was ever going to beat the Cleveland Cavaliers again. And they knew that, and they came together and found a perfect bond. But Skip, what KD is searching for, he can possibly find it in Brooklyn. Because there never had a player like this. I mean, you got to go way back, and nobody remembered Dr. J. When he played for Skip, nobody remember that. But they remember and I'm sorry, KD, but this was always going to be the case. And it took you 3 years before you finally realized that.
You sense a pattern here? Everywhere Kevin has been, he gets really unhappy with somebody, some way, somehow, which is why I'm on Golden State's side here, because I think they did everything in their power to keep him happy. He was initially very happy. Because he was so unhappy with Russell Westbrook. And I defended Kevin on that point because he was devastated that Oklahoma City ownership and management always sided with Russell Westbrook as the 1 to Kevin's 1A. They wanted the ball in Russ's hands down the stretch. And Kevin proved them wrong because he closed those 2 game threes in the finals and won Finals MVP. He had the biggest chip on his shoulder going to Golden State, and he thrived on all the negativity of how dare you leave Russell Westbrook and join the team that had you down 3 to 1. You had down 3 to 1. How dare you do that? And he took such an avalanche of criticism. To his credit, he stood up to it and rose above it. 2 Finals MVPs. But now we look back and we say, well, Kevin's always picking a fight with somebody because he needs to pick a fight with somebody, right? That's what he thrives on. He's always at odds with the media. He's picked lots of fights with me. He picked one with you. He's picked it with a lot of people. He bites the hand that feeds him. The classic story was at the All-Star weekend, the Friday big media session.
After he had won the MVP.
He'd won the MVP. But I don't know how many of those people out in that throng of reporters had voted for him. Probably
all of them.
All of them.
Yeah, at least 50.
Right. And he says, you guys don't know anything about basketball, and I'm cleaning up the language, right?
He said, you don't know bleep.
Yeah, you don't know bleep about basketball. What? Wait, then why did we vote for you? I guess we picked the wrong guy, right?
Yeah, LeBron said that earlier.
Okay.
LeBron said he should have won the MVP. So, LeBron said they didn't know him.
When he first went to Golden State, it was peace and love. I finally arrived at basketball heaven because they share the basketball, unlike my co-star in Oklahoma City.
Now, to cut you off, you remember that's what he said.
Yeah.
He loved the ball movement here. Now, he went out of his way to say they share the ball here.
Yeah.
And that started the back and forth between him and Russ.
Yeah.
Russ started wearing photog stuff and the cakes, the cakes that they had at the fans when KD showed back up.
What more could Steph Curry have done for Kevin Durant?
Nothing.
He was a two-time MVP, and he publicly said, I hand the reins to you. We couldn't do it by ourselves. We need you.
Right.
I'm not the man. You're the man now.
Right.
And what more could you do?
Steph couldn't do anything.
I don't know. So then Kendrick Perkins, very close to Kevin Durant, confirmed that all last year Kevin had, quote, 1 foot out the door, said Kendrick Perkins yesterday.
Yeah, we knew that.
Okay. I don't know how many times I used that line on this show. He's got 1 foot out the door.
And then it came 2 feet.
Okay. And it became 2 feet. What did I keep saying going to the playoffs? I said it 1,000 times on the show. That's a troubled basketball team.
Yes.
That team had lost 6 home games by 20-plus points. How could that be with that firepower?
Right.
Troubled all the way to its core. Draymond versus KD. And I'm starting to lean toward Draymond's side of this. Maybe he was on the right path about that. Maybe he was trying to put him back in the place that he was when he first arrived. Right? And this team proceeds to lose twice to the Clippers at home. And if I'm going to say it one last time. That's correct. Up by 31 points. It's troubled, and it's because he's got 2 feet out the door, and they know it, and they don't love it.
Right.
It's hard to go out and compete hard with when your best player is gone. Right? So then what happens after they lose to the Clippers twice? I'm going to say it one last time. If Kevin Durant did not get hurt, God bless him, but if he did not pull his calf or whatever he hurt near the end of the third quarter of Game 5 against Houston, they are going to lose that game, and they're going to lose that series because they're troubled. It was coming apart. And finally, Kevin hit a shot late in the third quarter that put them up 2, but it was coming. They had blown a 14-point halftime lead. They were going to lose that game, and they were going to have to go to Houston and face a closeout game with Kevin still in the lineup, the troubled lineup, right? I think they would have lost to Houston, and we'd be having a whole different conversation about the dysfunctional Rockets. They might have won in spite of themselves, right? So he's out the door, and now he's on to the Nets, and Kendrick says he finally has his own team, but in the Howard Beck article on Bleacher Report, it says that he and Kyrie decided they wanted no part of having to be the saviors of the Knicks. So you're telling me they shrank, like Kevin especially, shrank from the pressure of trying to win for the Knicks? Well, I lose respect for that. I told you his ultimate resume challenge, his legacy challenge, is just go win one for the Knicks.
Yeah, you got to win one without Steph and Clay. You got to win. You have to win a championship without an all-time greats team. I'm talking about a historically great team. Skip, he mentioned something, and Jen read it, and talking about, he didn't like the circumstances. And when they asked him about LeBron, he said the toxicity. Skip, you covered that Bulls run. It was toxicity. The Lakers.
But it was against Jerry Krause.
Right, but I'm saying, there's
Jerry Reinsdorf. The team was united.
When you win, and you got this many good players, everybody, you look at Steph the wrong way. Oh, there's something going on with him and Steph. You saw the way he looked at Steph. Well, that's what happens, KD. If there's nothing going on, if we're not talking about, that means your team isn't very good. And there's a lot going on. See, KD's like, I just want to play basketball. KD, you live in, that's utopia, where you just get to throw the ball up in there and you hoop and everybody leaves you alone. Nike ain't paying you $30 million a year for that.
Yep. So all of this negativity is shaming Golden State's management ownership into saying, well, let's retire his number, because they want to look like we're trying to do the right thing, right? We're trying to, and again, you can make a case, sure, he won 2 championships there. He was there for 3 years. Yeah. is it worthy of lifting his? It could be. Yeah. Is he like a cornerstone Golden State Warrior? No, he's not.
Well, who want that jersey? Okay. Who coming in and say, "Well, give me 35 for the Warriors"?
That's fine. But you know what they're doing, Lacob? They're saying for PR purposes, we got to look like we're doing all we can to have made his stay the best it could possibly be. Let's retire his number. Because what do they have through the new roof, right?
What were they supposed to do? Unless they afforded Steph privileges that they didn't give KD, which is hard for me to believe. I don't know what else they could have done. Now, look, we showed the clip yesterday. You asked to show the clip. That might have been the beginning of, because you know what, Skip? There's a little truth in that. Bob Myers said it.
I think there was a lot of truth in it.
But see, that's what happened when you start drinking.
Well, you just said, but he was there for the lean years. He paid all the dues, right?
That's what
Steph.
Bob Myers said that.
Yeah.
Say Steph been here for a long time. Say he earned it. He deserved the contract.
Yeah.
So KD like, hold on, wait a minute.
Oh.
I got these two little Bill Russell trophies, and you telling me I don't deserve to get a max contract.
That's what he was saying. Kevin said, I got 2 feet out the door.